Good afternoon, Terry. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Oscar, as you already know, and I'm going to be delivering your performance review. Do you have any questions before we begin?
No.
Okay, so let's go ahead and begin, and we're going to start off and we're going to go section by section. Feel free to stop me if you have any questions or if you need me to elaborate on any of the subjects. We'll start off with design quality. Under design quality, we expect that the extent to which you as the employee creates graphic design images and publication layouts that meet high stylistic and creative standards that are appropriate to the given project and adhere to Acme corporate design guidelines. As you can see here, we have our ratings scale, which starts off with improvement needed, then it goes to meet expectations, exceeds expectations, and outstanding. For this category, Terry, I went ahead and rated you needs improvement or improvement needed. The reason for that was we received feedback on a specific project that you were working on. You were working on Project World Fund. And I do want to start off by saying that our business partner went ahead and let us know that you did provide exceptional design work. You had very, very strong graphic design skills, but there were instances where you needed to pay attention to written text. There were some mistakes that were made that needed to be edited and corrected. So for that very same reason, I went ahead and rated you improvement needed. Do you have any questions, or do you agree or disagree with this rating?
I agree with you.
Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the second one. On the second one, we now see efficiency. Efficiency is the extent to which you, as the employee, works effectively and completes all of your work within the work schedule. Inefficiency, again, you can already see that there's the grading scale. For efficiency, I went ahead and also rated you improvement needed. Now, let me begin by telling you that we do appreciate the work that you do, but we also have to pay very, very close attention to timelines. On two separate occasions, there were situations where assignments were submitted late, and what that caused was a strain on our business partners that expected those deliverables in order for them to complete the work that they have to do. There are times that we don't take into account that we are not the end of the project, that there are other categories that have to come along after the information that we've submitted. But for that specific feedback, I went ahead and rated you improvement needed. Do you have any questions on that one, or do you agree or disagree?
I don't have any questions on this.
Okay, thank you. Moving on, communication. For communication, it's to the extent in which you and the employee listens and responds to particular graphic design objectives of a project in different departments. You'll notice that for communication, I went ahead and rated you once again improvement needed. Now, let me begin by telling you that the reason for that was when you were working on Project Acme branding campaign, there were improvements that were needed in response times as you were working with that group. There were occasions where there were email communications that they were reaching out to you and there were no responses. Do you have a reason for that, or was there something happening that was not allowing you to respond to those email communications?
I was working on the project and I thought I was emailing. I think I was speaking to other people on the project, trying to get out to those emails, and apparently they weren't done. So and we'll see where I agree with that. I left it with someone else, but I guess it ultimately falls on me
Okay.
as to why those responses weren't received. But I didn't trust someone else, and I guess that's where I made the mistake.
Okay, and I understand because a lot of us make mistakes like that. The good thing about it is it doesn't end here. There's always room for improvement. So let's talk about some of the things that we can do to partner together to make sure that we don't run into this issue anymore. So, for example, I know that you are capable and you've shown that you know how to use Microsoft Outlook. So, have you ever considered potentially setting yourself reminders with deadlines Have you ever used the calendar before?
Yes, but I haven't done reminders.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and show you how you can open your calendar. And as you can see right here, when you open the calendar, you can actually right click and hit new, and you can actually put yourself a reminder. And just to help you out with this actual situation, it would be beneficial that you set a reminder. Not only that, but set a reminder to maybe check your emails and make sure that you're responding to emails in a timely fashion. That way, our business partners that are expecting those responses from you are receiving that information. How does that sound?
Good.
All right, wonderful. So let's go ahead and move on to the next category. Technical readiness, the extent to which the employee is proficient in the use of essential graphic design tools and software. As you can see here, Terry, for this one, I also rated you improvement needed. And the reason for that was during the Acme branding campaign project, our business partner stated that you are very, very capable of using most of the design software. So good job there. Kudos to you. But our business partner was very surprised to learn that you were unfamiliar with web design programs that are familiar to our company. So what that tells me is that there is room for improvement, and we could potentially start talking about ways to get you upskilled and trained in some of those web design course programs. Does that sound like a good idea?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now we move on to adaptability and versatility, the extent to which you as the employee quickly gets up to speed with new assignments. And I want you to know that here I went ahead and rated you meets expectations because you are proving to me and the department that you are able to get up to speed with new assignments, specifically the World Fund Products project, where you demonstrated exceptional listening skills when partnering with the business. You adapted very well and you even made adjustments as requested. So there were requests and adjustments that were coming in on the fly, and you were very, very good and proactive about receiving those, adapting to them, and making those changes. So thank you for that. Moving on to number 6, paying attention to detail, the extent to which the employee consistently delivers professional, error free work and follows required processes. For this one, Terry, I went ahead and rated you improvement needed. And let me tell you why I did that. Specific example that comes to mind is during Project World Fun. You'll notice that the feedback we received stated that your graphic ideas and images were very strong. So good job. But I do want you to know that, however, there is room for improvement in accuracy. In a few occasions, there were typos that were created that required correction prior to project submission. Those typos had to be fixed and corrected, and they weren't corrected by you; they were corrected by the director who was overseeing that project. Another example that I wanted to go over was during Project Bike Safety. There was a brochure that you created. It was a 6 panel brochure that included a lot of content, but I do want you to know that there were various errors that were found, and those revisions were needed to be replaced and fixed. But when they were fixed and you did make those revisions, you made those revisions with the older version of the brochure. So it's all about just paying attention to what you're doing and making sure that the revisions you're working on are the most up to date. Do you understand? Okay, moving on. I also want you to know that due to that, we can see that the format changed considerably, and the director actually had to come in there and double check the content a second time just to ensure that it looked correct. So what we're doing there is we're creating extra and double work, and we don't want to do that. We want to be as efficient as possible. Number 7, responsibility and commitment, the extent to which the employee accepts job assignments and additional duties willingly and takes responsibility for their own performance and job assignments. You'll notice here, Terry, that I rated you exceeds expectations. And let me tell you why. You went ahead and proved to me that you've been working very, very hard on making sure that you responsibly commit to all of the projects that you've been working on. There has never been a business partner that has told me that you do not want to partner with them. I've never received negative feedback about your willingness and being easy to do business with, and caring about the results of that department and caring about the results of the project. So for that, I do see that determination in you, and I want you to keep that up. The next one I'd like to go over is attendance. The extent to which the employee is punctual, observes prescribed work breaks, meal periods, and acceptable overall attendance record, willingness to work overtime as required. As you can see here, Terry, I went ahead and marked you as meet expectations. Again, no negative feedback that has been received from any of our business partners. No negative feedback has been received on you not being there, ready, prepared. You don't have a pattern of being late. You come from break and lunches on time, and you don't have a pattern of calling out. So continue to do that good work and be here for the organization. So thank you. The next one, number 9, which is initiative. The extent to which the employee seeks out new assignments, proposes improved work methods, suggests ideas to eliminate waste, and finds new and better ways of doing things. You'll notice here, Terry, that I went ahead and rated you meets expectations. Specifically for the Project World Fund, where I received very, very positive feedback. There were times I was told that you often provided various options and solutions to consider for improving content, which was very beneficial. It was useful not only to us from the graphic design standpoint, but it was also very useful to our business partners that we're partnering with in order to create the content that they need. So thank you once again for that good work. Number 10, adhering to policy. The extent to which the employee follows company policies, procedures, and work conduct rules, complies and follows all safety rules and regulations. Terry, as you can see here, I went ahead and rated you meets expectations once again, because once again, I've received very positive feedback that you adhere to policy. You conduct yourself in an orderly fashion. There are no employee issues that we've heard of. Us being human resources, we haven't had to investigate you, and you're complying with all of the safety rules and regulations. So keep up the good work. Number 11, lead, and the extent to which the employee demonstrates proper judgment and decision-making skills when directing others, direct workflows in assigned areas effectively to meet productive or production areas and goals. For this one, Terry, I want you to know that I rated you meet expectations. Even though you weren't distinctively leading or directing others, I do want you to know that I received some very, very, very positive feedback on one of our employees. One of your coworkers, your peers, and as you can see right here, stated that he would not have been as successful in adjusting to the company if it weren't for you. You volunteered your time. You served as a resource. In addition, you even provided tutorials on common tasks to be completed, thus creating a very positive experience for your peer. These are the type of things that we want when we're onboarding new associates. These are the type of uh, exemplary behaviors that we like to see in our employees. So for that, once again, I commend you and thank you for giving that extra effort. Now, let's go over some of the accomplishments or new abilities that you've demonstrated since your last review. I want you to know that you did a really, really good job by developing basic skills and images, which are now very strong, and that's been evidenced in your work and the feedback that we receive. You have taken on more projects, which I've seen that increase since your last review. You are a great communicator, and you continue to build on partnerships with the business, and you've signed up for several software trainings. So that's an area of improvement. I've seen that those new abilities that you've demonstrated since your last performance review. Now let's talk about specific areas of improvement or things that we can improve upon. Accuracy. Accuracy is one of the most important things in our department because as the work is getting done, the work has to be completed correctly. If it's not, then we create rework. So, in your own opinion, what do you think is one good way that you can make sure that you're accurate when you're submitting your deliverables?
Really go over the project line by line, make sure that all the information is there.
Very good. I like that. I like that suggestion. And I can also recommend that once you are done and before you go to submit that project, how about having one of your peers give it a look over and just saying, hey, take a look here and point out any areas of improvement. The next part of specific area that I want you to focus on is attention to detail. It goes hand in hand with accuracy. Once again, paying attention to the nitty gritty details to make sure that what you're submitting is correct. And we've already talked about ways that you can make that change. Is there anything else that you think of that can help you when it comes to paying attention to detail?
Not at this moment.
Not at this moment. Okay, great. I appreciate that. But one thing that I would like to add is that always remember that you can review the requirements more than once. Read it over. Make sure that you're reading to understand. Therefore, it's going to help you make sure that you're paying attention to those little details, so we're not making mistakes. And lastly, the area of improvement is timeline for project deadlines. As you know, deliverables are the most important things in our department. As we're creating these web designs and we're sending them off to the different departments and the different projects that we're working on, realize that the marketing team is working, directors, business partners, even clients are working on it. So I want you to make sure that you're paying attention to the timelines and the deadlines. Is there anything that comes to mind that you think you could potentially do to help you with timelines and making sure that you meet those deadlines?
Just the calendar, like you said earlier.
I agree, and that's exactly what I was going to say. Utilizing your calendar and making yourself appointments and reminders to make sure that you're meeting those project deadlines. Thank you for that. Moving on, recommendations for professional development, i.e., seminars, trainings, and schoolings. I would like to recommend that we continue to look at seminars for web design to increase your overall knowledge on the web design programs. I also would like for you to partner with some of our high performing team members on our team. That way that you can start to share best practices. There may be something that you can learn from them, whereas there may be something that they can learn from you, and you guys can share those best practices. How does that sound?
Sounds great.
All right, good. And lastly, Terry, this is your overall performance review rating after we've reviewed all of the information and we've gone through each and every single topic, discussing the ways that you can improve and providing specific feedback. I want you to know that overall, I went ahead and rated you meets expectations for this year. The reason for that, and I have a little bit of a summary here. Overall, Terry, you had a very solid performance this year, and thank you for that. Uh, where there is room for improvement, you have also displayed that you are building on what you already know. You are building on the skills that you already have. I would like for you to continue to challenge yourself, and I certainly look forward to partnering with you in this new year. Do you have any questions, comments, or concerns?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. Have a great day.